Hey everybody, welcome back to the farm. I'm John, and I think what I'm going to do this week is just give a kind of a short video on where we're at around the farm and everything we got going on. It's been kind of slow around here recently. We've had a lot of rain, a lot of cold weather. You know, these fronts keep coming through. Recently it's been a lot of rain. Like, we just had a lot of rain this morning, and we're going to, if you can't hear it or tell now, we're going to get a lot of wind today. They're expecting 50-mile-an-hour gust. I'm about to feed animals, but after that I think I'll give a quick walk around and kind of catch everybody up on where we're at and what we got going on with some upcoming plans. And yeah, looks like spring is starting to get on us here, and you know, I didn't accomplish near as much as I wanted to this winter, well, this fall winter, and you know, we'll see what happens here this spring. But anyway, pigs are seeing me, so let me go start getting them fed, and I'll catch back up with y'all here in a few minutes. So critters are fed. Typical, I'm missing 2 pigs, so I'm assuming they're next door on the neighbor's farm. So it's Lemon and Possum who keep getting out. Now I've come over here and I've measured out. There's a post there, one here, and then there's one laying right over the rise there, and another one there. So that's a 100-foot square that I was wanting to move the boars into. Oh, but now I'm thinking that, you know, I lay it out and then I look at it, and that I want to bring the boars off of the corner down there and run a paddock out and take it down the hill. One, I think it'll be easier to get water down there, and I can potentially give them a little bit more space. So that's the plan right now. So Merriweather and Charming out at the back of the pasture in their usual spot. Come on, pigs. So this is almost a daily occurrence now. I expect to lose a pig before too long. One of these big nasty mama cows will give it a good stomping. Come on, pigs. Or the farmer's just gonna get hungry. Which I've told him I've got pigs getting over the fence. He didn't seem too concerned about it. Now my bigger concern is they're gonna start getting down where some feed's on the ground. I see the farmer down there right now. Is he dealing with a fallen tree, it looks like. That's no fun. Come on, pig. What are y'all doing up here? Come on, Possum. Ain't no reason for y'all to be over here in this field. Actually, that looks like Sailor Girl up there. Come on, pig. Yep, that's Sailor. That ain't no good. Why are you teaching these pigs things they don't need to be knowing? So, I bet they crawled in there. Somewhere right in here. Come on, goofball. Man, what a disaster. Come on. Yep, there we go, right there. Come on, doofus. So one of the other things I've been contemplating is building that boar paddock. Well, crawl under there. You just saw your sister do it. Is making another paddock for these girls, so they can't keep exploring the neighbor's farm. Just to crack me up. They're like, hey, you ain't got the buckets. I'm glad these two have bonded, become their own little herd. We're debating getting one more cow, but it's just gonna have to wait. Those puppies are expensive. They're fun, but that's a lot of scratch to put out on a cow. Now, if we ever get her AI'd, which is artificial insemination, not artificial intelligence for those of you nerds out there. If we ever get her AI'd and she has a calf, obviously if it's not a heifer calf, or even if it is a heifer calf, I guess, a heifer calf I'd probably want to keep because it lets you grow your herd. But they're also, you know, there's a market for them. You know, that's probably the only way we're going to get our money back on these cows, is to get another cow. Now she's 5 years old. She's a one calf cow, so I would like to get her calving again. And then if we can get another cow that's, you know, at least 2 years old, I think that's what folks are recommending for the Highlands. Of course, it's probably not a bad idea for other breeds as well, to not calve them at 1 year, but that's beyond my area of expertise. Somebody out there who's a cattle farmer, I guess if the cow has the size and capacities, and you know, breeding them at 1 year is not a big deal. I mean, I breed my Kunekune sows at 1 year. The only exception to that was Juliet. I think she was about 2 years old, if not slightly older than when she got bred for the first time. So, they still following me here? Yeah. Goofballs. So, you know, that's the only way we're going to recoup money on those cows, is to produce more cows. Hey, you see them eating over there? Huh? You better get over there. Somebody's already heading to the water trough. So yeah, looking at coming off the corner over there, making a good sized boar paddock, because once again, it's going to be those four boars back over there that are in the boar paddock right now, and then I got 4 more intact boars that are in with the little 14 over there. So I'm gonna have, obviously, you know, simple math, 8 boars in that paddock, and I think that would give them an opportunity to stay on some grass. And there's a big hole right down there. I'd like to see them turn into a good sized wallow. But that would give us an opportunity to get water right over here on this corner. Of course, I just pulled up a couple posts. I'm gonna have to pull back in. I'm gonna have to measure this out. I'm thinking maybe 150 over, and then just all the way down to the fence. So I think I'll leave this fence alone, and I'll just put 2 strands, a high one and a low one. Low one to keep the pigs in, a high one to keep the cows out. There's a bunch of rock and stuff down there, so having the pigs on it, that's just one less thing I have to worry about mowing around. Now, as far, well, so I'll take the 8-foot pig house and move it down. As far as all these pigs, I'm not sure how I'm going to do a paddock for them. I'm thinking I may come off the boar paddock. What I really want to do is just encircle the entire pasture with a strand of wire so they can stop crawling under the fence. Time and resources there. More getting the resources to, because I'm going to have to, you know, put an insulator on the post and run around. I didn't get all those Osage saplings down, so I'm going to have to work around those. You know, it's one more thing to keep an eye on with all the limbs and stuff falling. But I think it would be nice, you know, just to have the pigs on the pasture, especially with as many of them as I have. Now, I only have problems with a couple. And I'm starting to get to the point I can't tell Sailor from her babies. They're all getting so big. So yeah, this big house will get moved down. Boars can sleep in it. This house will stay up here. These two paddocks, I want to get moved up so they can be used for sows fairly. And I think I'm going to shrink them back down. Try some different stuff with the sows this time around. But anyway, so there's just a lot going on. Still a lot of cleanup to do. I expect us to have a pretty wet April. I'm not expecting bees until early mid-May, so I still got some time to work on that and get a spot carved out back up there for the bees. Back of my truck is full of feed, needs to get unloaded. I see some rat sign or mouse sign around our feed bins, so they've been cleaning up what we've been dropping. I don't like that. I need to get some of them chickens that are mousers. So anyway, the other day, ginger snap. So I posted a short. We had coyotes. They were yipping and yapping out here, just making a real loud racket probably 3 nights ago. And I posted a short about it, but I didn't see any coyotes. But I come out to check on them, and Ginger Snap was on that side of the hot wire, so I don't know where she managed to slip out. She hasn't done it again, so I'm assuming it was just dumb luck. And luckily she didn't become a coyote snack. But the sun's going to be out, the wind's going to pick up, it's going to dry a lot of this mud out pretty quick. I'd rather not see 50-mile-an-hour gusts because I still have some bad trees that I need to deal with. Another thing we're going to look at doing is revamping the chicken coop. So my daughter Jillian has been looking into it. We have some ideas. I think we're going to end up moving it over here. I'm going to take probably this walnut down, but I think we're going to put the chicken coop along this fence right here and see how that goes. I mean, this is kind of a mess anyway. I do have this mulberry tree right over here. I got one right here as well, so having the chickens around those mulberries would be nice. But we're going to make them a permanent run and, you know, still give them the opportunity to be able to get let loose, because it'd be nice for them to, it'd be nice if I could get the chickens out here and let them break up some of these piles of pig poop and things along those lines. But yeah, we'll see. Once again, it's going to be dependent upon buying materials and just getting time to do it. So you see these little guys, they've done a good job cleaning this up, and I just put them on some grass here. They'll have all that eaten down by the end of the day. This is still that little young gilt right there. She's a pretty pig. So yeah, we're expecting some chickens to come in as well, so we have an order out. I can't remember how many are coming, but we're gonna get some new hens growing. You know, it'll take a little while before we start. Love these trucks. It'll be a little while before we start getting eggs out of them, probably fall, but we'll get them out here and get them growing. Chickens so far are doing good. We've thinned out a couple roosters with some local folks, so it'd be nice to get a couple more of them going. Next weekend, weather permitting, we're gonna have the little bonfire for the volleyball team, so this will get burnt down, and I'll probably burn up that pine stuff right there as well. As that fire gets hot and going, I'll throw that pine on there so it can smoke and burn off pretty quick. And if we get down to a good smoldering fire, I'll throw that outhouse on it and let it burn up. So the boars are going to move from over there. Yeah, that grass right there is probably a good 8 inches tall. So we got bulbs coming in. There's a lot of purple dead nettle this year. If you're not familiar with purple dead nettle, it's actually great for early pollinator feed. So if you do have bees or you see bees on your property flying around, a lot of times they'll be working these patches of purple dead nettle. Now the pigs will eat this, the chickens will eat it, and there's, you know, home remedy type stuff you can make with it. So don't be hating on your purple dead nettle. See it pop it up. Of course, Amanda's going to weed some of it out. And I can't remember what this stuff is called. She was telling me, but man, I can barely remember my own name these days. So letting that stuff lie as well, that'll be good. Early pollinator feed. Got a peach tree right here that's dead. I'm going to take down and replace. My peach tree right here is looking good. It is definitely blooming and coming in. So peach is looking good. The mulberries back up there have some growth on them. The blueberries I put in a couple weeks back have some fresh buds on them. Our dogwood trees look like they survived the winter and had some fresh growth. So yeah, everything's starting to wake up. There's just a lot to do. You know, we're supposed to have a farm full of people next weekend. So there's a lot of just maintenance and getting things caught up and up to speed. I got Cindy loppers here. We need to get up here and start trimming back. There's a bunch of these weed trees, tree of heaven or whatever. This walnut needs to get cut down because it's eventually gonna not allow my peach tree to do very well. This one needs to go, but I don't think I'm gonna do it this year, considering I haven't done anything else with the chainsaw. And I still have this nasty tree hung up right here. It's broke off about 10 foot off the ground. Maybe the wind today will finally blow it out of there. So we'll see how that goes, but yeah. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. You know, it's been a good spring so far. Everything's coming in. Up here in the garden, things are looking good. Amanda does have a bunch of seeds started up in the greenhouse, but I'll see if I can get her out to talk through what she's got going on there. We're about to go up and pick up a few bags of topsoil and compost and come back and start getting our garden beds filled up and ready to plant. Now, we won't put a plant in outside of the cold weather stuff. You know, we got some kale coming back from last year, which is not surprising. Kale can be a perennial. I don't know if we'll put any lettuce in. We tend to just not eat a lot of lettuce. I normally pick at it when I'm out in the garden and stuff my face with lettuce like a big wild rabbit out there. So another plan is to put a permanent fence back in where I took all that old nasty stuff down. I mean, we'll have to see how that all works out, how far I go this year. I'd like to fence this lower pasture in, keep it to that side of the dogwoods, and that way if I wanted to let the pigs up in here to graze, I could. Now this is Clara's volleyball court right now, so that may not happen this year. May get pushed to next. So I'm gonna look at taking this big rusty cattle panel right here, and I'm gonna make a circle out of it, you know, just a big hoop. And I may place it right here on top of these rocks, because I can't mow right here. It's a pain in the butt, and I think it would be a great spot to put a compost pile. So I'll still be able to mow around it with the zero turn, and it'll just cover that up. And when I move the compost pile, maybe I can eventually get those rocks covered with some soil and, you know, do something a little more meaningful with it. So that's what I'm going to work on right now. I'm going to get that, get it rolled up. It shouldn't be real big. That's a 16-foot panel, so maybe I'll have a, you know, a 4-foot circle here, and that's going to be probably 40 inches high. So it's a cattle panel, not a hog panel. So yeah, we'll see how it looks. I don't think I've cut into this one. I have used these before. These are remnants of stuff that we found around the farm. So yeah, I'm gonna get that done, because, you know, we started weeding some flower beds yesterday, and I got a bunch of this purple dead nettle. I got an old bella of hay here that was in with the chickens, and we got some Prince Tut grass there that got pulled yesterday. So I'm gonna work on this, then I'm gonna get the mower fired up and do the first mowing of the year, which is always a good time. That didn't take long. So I would say 48 inches high, about 4 foot across. So we can put a lot of waste in here. Now, one thing we're not going to have this year is that steady supply of horse manure. You know, that was one good thing about the horses. One of several good things about the horses. But they did produce a lot of poop, and they love to poop right up here in the barnyard. And it was easy to gather that up and utilize it. So, you know, what we'll have to do now is either find another source, or we'll just live without it. She woke right up. Now, I put some fuel additive in it for the winter, and I started it a couple times over the winter. I did not disconnect the battery, so I was not surprised that it fired right up. I've also got the tractor warming up. I'm gonna hook up to the land plane there and do the driveway, fill in some of the potholes that have formed over the winter. And I fired up the lawnmower, and of course mice came out of it, so I'm sure there's some living in the tractor too. A lot of times when I'm running it, they'll start poking their nose out right here at the throttle. So while I have these out, I need to give them a good hosing off. They're all dusty. I guess that's one thing about keeping your equipment undercover. So got our push mower sitting right there. I'm sucking wind because I've been push mowing, but that mower's got some years on it. All our kids have mowed with it, and man, it'd be cool to keep it alive and get a few more years out of it. But I just had to replace the throttle cable and gave her a test run around the septic stuff right here. So yeah, we got a lot of yard. You know, obviously I mow all this with the zero turn. Now I have mowed this entire farm with that push mower. Not recommended. That was when our other mower died, and it was close to the end of the year. I went ahead and sucked it up and spent weeks on end just push mowing. I got the side-by-side brought over here, emptied all the stuff out of it from Amanda and Clara's weeding the last couple days, and I'm getting ready to take this Widowmaker down, which is this tree right here in the middle. We got people coming over in a couple days, and I do not want this to be a thing. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get her laid down. Well, one thing that makes these trees so dangerous is that they're unpredictable. I looked at that tree from about every angle, and it is completely cut off right there. It's actually sliding on the stump. But with the weight of that kind of being supported and halfway hung up and pushing down on that thing, it just doesn't want to fall. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go get my come along and my chain. I got a tree right over here I can tie into and pull that thing off that stump. I don't think I could have asked for that to go any better. It pretty much did exactly what I expected it to do the first time. And I got it down now where I can manage it. So I think I'm gonna go get the tractor and go ahead and pull it out. What are you doing? Little stinker. You think that lawnmower's eating me?